Thank you for joining us here at Jenson USA. We're going to do a little overview of some e-bikes here. What I have in front of me is a pretty big e-bike here right now. This is a Norco Range VLT. This is the A1 model. This is the top of the line of the aluminum models here. Pretty cool bike when we jump through this. Norco does offer the same model of bike in a carbon version as well. Obviously, we're going to jump up in price a little bit, but this bike itself is running 180 mil front travel, 170 in the rear, obviously with the coil shock. So this is really meant for your guy that's going to be a bruiser out there on this bike. This is going to be your guy that's really going to go out there and want to do some maybe park laps or really running it pretty hard. What you're going to be looking for on like a lot of these models, again, you're going to have a 38 fork on the front of there. So this is a Fox 38. E-rated fork on this. You know, we have some other brands that run a 38 or 35 stanchion, and that's going to be how thick or the diameter of the physical fork legs itself, and that's going to keep some of the flex out with the added weight that you're going to get with these bikes. Most of our bikes here, we're going to have, for the most part, 2 motors that you'll get through this. This is what's called a Shimano EP8 motor. What I really like about Norco and what they've done with their e-bike line is, if you actually notice aesthetically wise, they've actually tilted the motor up just a little bit in the front, about 15 degrees. That gives you a little bit better ground clearance as well, and actually brings those cranks up just a slight bit more so you don't have that bashing of the cranks. And aesthetically, to me, it's a little bit more pleasing, gives a little bit better line instead of that big old hump on the bottom. What sets Norco apart a little bit on their e-bike line as well is they do offer 3 separate batteries that are interchangeable on these bikes. So you actually will buy the bike and then you buy the battery separate. And why they have that ability is you can own multiple different batteries from like a 540 all the way up into the 900. So the bigger the battery, the heavier it's going to be, so obviously the bike is going to weigh more, but you have more distance that you'll be able to cover under riding of this. And again, with that battery on there that you can do that actually is just removable, and you can exchange that out trail side as well. But again, depending on what you're looking for, we have everything from trail bikes, hardtails, to these big old guys here as well. What I have in front of me here is the Orbea Vibe. I really like this bike. It's got a very clean look to it, very minimalistic for an e-bike. This bike itself actually uses what's called a hub drive, where the motor is physically in the rear wheel or the hub itself. Gives it a very clean look. There's also e-bikes or commuting bikes on the market that actually are called a mid-drive. And the mid-drives are going to have the motor actually at the crank length itself, and that you'll see those bigger drop downs for the motor itself. A little bit variance that you'll see through some of these e-bikes and stuff as well. Again, this has got a very sleek down tube, is battery size or wattage. And what that's going to determine is the power that you're going to get out of it, as well as the range. This has got a very low wattage range out of it. Still can get some decent mileage out of it. So these cleaner looking minimalistic ones are going to be for those guys that are looking for a little bit of assist, just want to get to work without sweating and have some fun maybe around on the boardwalk. While you jump into maybe one with a mid-drive, bigger battery, definitely going to be those guys that are doing a lot more commuting and definitely want that extra power to be able to get out there and put some big miles in, maybe pulling trailers, playing with the kids and stuff like that. Again, this guy itself, pretty minimalistic. Also with the mid-drive motors, you can get up to the 28 mile assist. On most hub-driven motors, you're gonna get up to that 20-mile assist. So again, just depending on that type of assist that you're looking to get out of your e-bike. Again, this is the Orbea Vibe, and we do have a decent amount of commuting e-bikes as well as road e-bikes and everything in between. So the Orbea Gain here, as you can tell, it's this full e-bike with a hub-driven motor, so it gives that very sleek look to it. It actually just has one wire that's exposed through that of there, and everything else is fully internal on this bike itself. Battery's actually inside the frame itself, and it gives you an assist up to 20 miles an hour. This bike's pretty cool because you can get out there, ride with your road friends, and not really look like you're riding on an e-bike. It's gonna give you just enough power to get out there, keep up with your guys, your friends that are maybe pushing a little bit more pedals than you, especially for your weekend warrior guys, or like myself with the family and all that, that's keeping me from riding and getting stronger out there. As we jump in and get a little closer, you'll see some of the highlights, really sleek on this bike as well. You can go to a gravel tire on this. They do offer a few different models as well, a 1x system as well as the 2x on this bike. So we have a few different models of these in stock here at Jenson USA. And if you have any questions on the Orbea Gain or any other e-bike in that matter, our gear advisors love to talk bikes. What I have in front of me right here is the Niner RLT E9. This is going to be in a category of sort of like a gravel do-all road bike. This is going to be a pretty cool bike for that guy that's getting out, wants to do a little bit of maybe commuting on there. This has actually got the Bosch motor in it with assist up to 28 miles an hour. This bike also has what's called a mid-drive motor, so you'll actually see the motor's actually down by the cranks itself. The battery is able to come out with a keyed door that you can take that out for charging or storing, so you don't have to worry about that being in the elements or maybe a theft or so when you're stopping at a grocery store. Where this bike really sets itself apart is it still comes with like 2.0 tires on this, so really massive tires for like a gravel road bike, give you that stability at those higher speeds that this motor can assist through. Again, full Bosch motor through this GRX 11-speed system on this, so pretty high-end componentry. What actually sets this bike a little bit apart from anything else maybe in this category is it actually does run a boost spacing all the way through this. So that's actually a mountain bike rear spacing axle. Makes this a lot stiffer in the rear. And for those abilities to be able to pull trailers and or your accessories. Niner does offer a full line of accessories for this bike, from front racks to rear racks to actual inside frame bags. And if you take a closer look all the way through it, you'll actually see all the mounting bosses for any type of accessories that you want to start doing on that with a backpacking experience as well. This is actually my own personal bike right here. Really have been loving this. I pull the kids around, have a good time on this. We still go out and enjoy it. So if you're looking for a bike that's going to get you around town and have a great time and a lot of assist on there, definitely would take a look at this. This is one of my own personal bikes here, and after a few months of riding it, like everything, we want to make it our own, right? So this was the entry-level price point, the H30. The price at this moment on this is $56.99. With a little bit of upgrades and stuff that I've done on my own personal bike, it really made it my own, and still comes in at a price point less than most of the market would be. And Again, this is more of what I was looking for out of this bike itself. The Ryze model itself is built to be a lighter version e-bike. That's why you see no external door for the battery to pop out. Still uses that EP8 RS motor into this, which gives you that real good pedaling ability, a little bit of a cross. I would say those guys that really still like to pedal, still want to get out, you can go ride with your guys with a normal pedal bike or go out and ride with your e-bike friends. My own personal bike here right now, I'm running a 150 fork on the front, and this is running a Lyric with the Rock Shock Super Deluxe in the rear with the reservoir on this. I'm probably riding this a little bit more aggressive, maybe than intended use. But again, this was the H30 model. They do make the H15 model that is running the Fox suspension into those same travel wise. So if you're someone that's gonna be a little bit more aggressive on it, the H15 might sit into there. But again, overall, great bike. This is gonna be that guy, again, really wanting to get out there, put in some miles and have fun on it. Real life experience with this bike as well is I've done upwards to about 35 to 40 miles on this, and coming from where I'm at, I'm putting in quite a bit of climbing out of there. So 35 miles with about 5,000 feet of elevation, still coming home with plenty of battery in there when I'm just running on that trail mode. I've been able to run it out of the battery one time, and that's been me really pushing through pedaling wise on this guy. Again, I'm not running any extender on it. They do offer it, but I was able to get 52 miles and just over 6,500 feet of elevation out of this guy before I was able to drain the battery on this. And this, again, is that smaller watt battery that we have on the Ryze versions. We are getting some of these in stock. Great bikes for those guys that are looking to get out and riding on those e-bikes. So if you have any questions on this Orbea Ryze or any other e-bike in that fashion, our gear advisors love to talk bikes. Keep pedaling.